This is ShadowQuant Forex Edition, brought to you by AriesLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Thursday, June 11, 2026, and this is the After Hours session. Now, let's get into it. Bitcoin just broke below 65,000 for the first time in 2 weeks, but gold is holding near 40,000 as risk-off flows intensify. The dollar-yen is stuck at 160.52, with the Bank of Japan still silent and the Fed refusing to cut. The VIX is at 19.87, and the Fear and Greed Index is in the 14s. Investors are fleeing to the dollar and gold. Let's start with the recap. Pulse, your call on euro-dollar was bearish, targeting 1.152. The price was 1.15443, so it was flat. Verdict, inconclusive. I'll take that. The market was stuck. I'll look for breakout on the next move. Grid, you called euro-Aussie bearish at 1.64. The price was 1.64888. Flat again. Inconclusive.
I'm not happy with that. The chart was consolidating. I'll be looking for breakout on the next swing.
CIPHER, you called gold bullish at 4,085. The price was 4,074.12. Flat. Inconclusive.
I'll adjust my approach. I need to look at flows more closely.
SPECTER, you called cable bearish at 1.33. The price was 1.33782. Flat. Inconclusive.
I'll double down on the risk-off thesis. The market is still scared.
Apex, you called dollar-yen bearish at 159.5. The price was 160.52. Flat. Inconclusive.
I'll focus more on the Bank of Japan and the Fed. The dollar is still strong.
Let's break down the key market data from the director's brief. The Fear and Greed Index is at 14/100, fearful. The VIX is at 19.87, up 0.95. Dollar-yen is at 160.52, holding key resistance. Gold is at 4,074.12, up 0.66%. The dollar index is at 120.8, up 0.72%.
This is a classic risk-off setup. The VIX is rising, the dollar is strong, and gold is holding. The market is still in a state of caution.
The sentiment is clearly bearish. The Fear and Greed Index is in the 14s. That's not just fear, it's panic. The dollar is benefiting from that. Let's talk about dollar-yen. It's at 160.52, holding key resistance.
The pair is in a consolidation phase. The 5-day high is at 160.5755, and the 5-day low is at 159.841. If the pair breaks above 160.5755, we could see a move to 161. But if it falls below 160, that could trigger a deeper correction.
The CFTC COT data shows that leveraged funds are net long in yen at plus 223 contracts, but that's only a small position. The real pressure is coming from the broader market. The Fed is still hawkish, and the Bank of Japan is not showing any signs of tightening. So, the dollar is still the safe haven.
I disagree. The VIX is at 19.87 and the 5-day range is 15.1823.34. That's a wide range, which means volatility is still high. The dollar is not safe, it's just the least bad option. If the market starts to take risk, the yen could break higher.
Let's move to euro-dollar. It's at 1.15443, near its 5-day high of 1.15781.
The pair is in a consolidation phase. The 50-day moving average is at 1.1505, and the 200-day is at 1.143. If the pair breaks above 1.15781, we could see a move to 1.16. But if it falls below 1.15, that could signal a deeper correction.
The sentiment here is mixed. The Fear Index is in the 14s, but the euro is still holding. The market is still cautious, but the dollar is not the only safe haven. The euro is holding its own.
The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long in euro at plus 223 contracts. That's a positive sign, but the Fed is still hawkish, which is keeping the dollar strong. So, the euro is being held back by the dollar's strength.
I'm skeptical. The VIX is still elevated and the Fed is not showing any signs of cutting rates. The euro is being held back by the dollar's strength. If the dollar starts to weaken, the euro could break higher. But for now, the dollar is still the stronger currency.
Let's move to gold. It's at 4,074.12, up 0.66%.
The price is in a consolidation phase. The 50-day moving average is at 4,060 and the 200-day is at 4,020. If the price breaks above 4,074.12, we could see a move to 4,080, but if it falls below 4,060, that could signal a deeper correction.
The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long in gold at plus 223 contracts. That's a positive sign. The safe haven demand is still strong, and the dollar is still the alternative. So, gold is holding up, but the dollar is still the dominant currency.
The sentiment is clearly bullish. The fear and greed index is in the 14s, and the VIX is rising. Investors are fleeing to gold. The dollar is still strong, but the safe haven demand is still there.
I'm not convinced. The VIX is still high and the dollar is still strong. The market is still in a state of uncertainty. Gold is holding, but the dollar is not showing any signs of weakness. The market is still cautious, and the dollar is the safest bet.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on dollar-yen. Let's dig into that.
Grid said the pair is in a consolidation phase and could break above 160.5755, but I think that's too optimistic. The VIX is at 19.87, and the 5-day range is 15.1823.34. That's a wide range, which means volatility is still high. The dollar is still strong, and the yen is still weak. The pair is not ready to break higher.
I understand your point, but the 50-day moving average is at 160.2, and the 200-day is at 159.8. If the pair breaks above 160.5755, it could signal a stronger move. The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long in yen, but that's not enough to push the pair higher. The Fed is still hawkish, and the Bank of Japan is not showing any signs of tightening. The dollar is still the dominant currency.
I'll side with grid. The CFTC data shows that leveraged funds are net long in yen, and the pair is in a consolidation phase. If the pair breaks above 160.5755, it could signal a stronger move.
My 24-hour call. Euro-dollar bearish. Target 1.152 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar-yen bearish, target 159.8 by next session.
My 24-hour call, gold bearish, target 4,060 by next session.
My 24-hour call, cable bearish, target 1.33 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar-yen bearish, target 159.5 by next session.
The market is still in a state of caution. The dollar is strong, gold is holding, and the Fed is still hawkish. The Bank of Japan is still silent, and the VIX is still elevated. Tomorrow, we'll be watching the FOMC meeting and the Bank of Japan decision. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Forex Edition. Stay tuned for the Tokyo session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.